People do not always disrespect you with words. Most of the time, they do it quietly. They ignore you. They delay you. They overlook you. Nothing obvious happens. No argument, no insult. So you feel something is wrong, but you cannot point to it. That is why it works. This happens to people every day. At work, in friendships, in families, in social groups. You feel it when someone sees your message but replies much later. You feel it when people talk over you and keep going. You feel it when your ideas are ignored until someone else says the same thing. You feel it when no one acknowledges that you are there. And because no one says anything directly, you start questioning yourself. You think maybe you are imagining it. Maybe you are too sensitive. Maybe you are overthinking. You are not. This behavior has a psychological reason. Human beings are always ranking each other, quietly, automatically. Every interaction includes a small test. Who matters more? Who has influence? Who can be ignored? This happens without planning, without intention. It is part of how social systems work. Respect is not based on kindness. It is based on perception. People treat you according to how they believe you will respond. If they believe you will tolerate being ignored, they ignore you. If they believe you will not push back, they push. If they believe you will stay available no matter what, they delay you. This is not cruelty. It is efficiency. The brain saves effort where it can. In social groups, attention is power. Time is power. Acknowledgement is power. When someone gives you less of these, they are lowering your position without saying it. This is called silent disrespect. It feels confusing because nothing is clear. There is no moment where you can say, that was disrespect. Instead, there is a pattern of being skipped, a pattern of being delayed, a pattern of being unseen. The brain struggles with patterns more than events. Because patterns create doubt. You replay conversations, you replay messages, you analyze tone. That mental effort drains you. And while you are busy doubting yourself, the other person is learning something. They are learning how much they can get away with. This is called boundary testing. People test boundaries quietly first. They rarely start with open disrespect. They start small, a delayed reply, a short answer, no eye contact, a change in tone. If nothing happens, they continue, not because they hate you, but because the system allows it. Silence is interpreted as permission. When you continue being polite after being dismissed, the brain of the other person registers safety. Low risk, low resistance. That is when behavior shifts. They interrupt you more. They acknowledge you less. They include you less. This is not personal. It is structural. You feel the emotional pain of it because humans need feedback. When feedback disappears, the nervous system becomes alert. You feel uneasy, invisible, disconnected. That feeling makes many people do the wrong thing. They try harder. They explain more. They become more available. They think effort will restore respect. It usually does the opposite. High effort without boundaries signals low value. People respect what feels limited. When you reply instantly every time, you signal unlimited access. When you keep talking after being ignored, you signal tolerance. When you smile through dismissal, you signal compliance. The brain of the other person does not interpret this as kindness. It interprets it as weakness. Weakness invites adjustment, not loud dominance, quiet dominance. That is why this behavior feels passive. It is passive dominant. The person does not need to confront you. They do not need to argue. They simply reduce investment, less time, less attention, less acknowledgement. This keeps them higher in the social order. Once you understand this, confusion disappears. You stop asking, why are they like this? You start asking, what pattern am I allowing? This shift matters because respect is not restored through emotion. It is restored through behavior change. You do not need to confront. You do not need to explain. You need to recalibrate the dynamic. That begins with neutrality. Neutrality is not coldness. It is control. When someone delays you, you stop filling the gap. You respond when it is convenient for you, not to punish, not to prove a point, but to restore balance. When someone ignores your contribution, You do not repeat yourself. You do not push. You withdraw your energy. Energy is currency. People notice when it is removed. When someone talks over you, you pause. You let the interruption exist. That pause creates awareness. Most dominance relies on momentum. When momentum stops, the behavior is exposed. Eye contact also changes things. Not intense, not aggressive, steady, brief, calm. It signals presence without demand. High-status people do not seek permission to exist. They assume space. They do not rush to be understood. They do not soften everything they say. They allow silence to sit. Silence is uncomfortable only for those who lack control. When you stop rushing, others adjust. This adjustment happens unconsciously. They respond quicker. They listen more. They acknowledge again, not because you asked, but because the system changed. Some people will not adjust. They rely on diminishing others to feel secure. When you remove your availability, they move on. This is not loss. It is correction. You are no longer participating in your own dismissal. That is the core shift. Silent disrespect only works when you absorb it. Once you see it clearly, it loses power. You stop internalizing. You stop compensating. You stop negotiating your value. You remain calm, contained, present. That presence changes how people treat you. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. And quiet changes last the longest. When you understand this, you move differently. You are no longer confused. You are no longer reactive. You are aware. And awareness restores control.